thanks to the support as a channel member, Robert Bannerman. Well, at this point, I have no idea what my chairman is doing. Supposedly a tycoon. We're over £1 million overdrawn. We had our wage budget slashed, then doubled. We had to sell players to balance the book, and now we've been promoted and are subject to EFL, FFP wage cap regulations. The solution? Spend £6 million on a new all-seater stadium that we don't need and won't fill. And not only that, we're going to build it stupidly fast as well, because it's been announced on the 20th of April 2027. It's costing us just under £6 million. We start building it yesterday, and it's going to be finished by next summer. Build completion date next summer. We're going to have undersoil heating, but a capacity of only 5,000. We are getting a bit of sponsorship and a bit of a grant, and a bit from selling St James Park. But the majority of this, okay, it's not even coming from a loan. I guess he's putting his hand in his pocket. So he has, I asked him for a couple of million. He's put his hand in his pocket for what? 3 million, 3 and a bit million. None of it's coming into the actual club coffers though. So this summer's still going to be a very interesting one. It's very early for me to be coming back for a transfer special slash season review. I'll be back when we have the season review, but I just thought I'd show you this. And if anything else bananas happens, I'll show you that as well. I mean, I wonder if he's got money to burn, can I increase my percentage of transfer revenue? Because we're only getting 30%. I mean, what else could I ask for? Can we have better training facilities? I mean, we've got no money. I don't believe it would be possible for us to have better training facilities, but who knows? We are bringing in some Premier League youngsters, by the way, because we can afford to give them salaries now. We've also, I'm getting Fransaw, the dinosaur. I've managed to extend the contracts of those key players, Hollingshead, who else? Thomas. There was a couple of others as well. We haven't been able to give Camerson a contract yet because he's still in a grumpy because we didn't agree one previously. We will go back in for Camerson. Aguier, I think, is signing a new contract. A lot of these are still going to be leaving, but most of these are going to be coming in, and then we'll see where we are when that process is over and done. But like I say, unless something else bananas happens, I'll meet you on season review day. I mean, who knows what might have happened by then. Anything potentially could have happened at that point. I'll introduce you to these players when they actually arrive at the club. All right then, fair enough, Adam. Fair enough. Brackley Town chairperson Adam Robertson has today announced a cash injection of £3.2 million to cover debt incurred this season and then some. He turned me down for all the stuff I asked for before. I feel like I should ask for some more things now that we've got money again. I'd like a coaching course, please. I'm due a coaching course for sure. I guess we'll have youth facilities. And can we also have, I guess let's go up a youth level. We want to get an academy rolling. If we can get the facility set up so by the time he runs away with his cash, we're self-sustaining and churning out good young players, that's the dream. We also have details of League 2 FFP now. So League 2 regulations require the club to keep player wage expenditure below 105k per week. I don't even understand how that can be, because that's supposed to be a percentage of income, unless it's counting stuff like this as income, which is insane and is not how it's supposed to work. This specifically exists to stop clubs from doing this, but all of a sudden wages are no object. We could genuinely do 3 promotions in a row and just keep riding this tycoon wave. I'm suddenly feeling a lot more positive about this summer, and I'm very glad I didn't go to Lincoln. I'm glad I trusted my instincts. This is going to be a fun summer. Once again, Adam contradicting himself. So I asked to improve youth facilities. He said, no, your main focus should be signing first team ready players. He hasn't given me the money to do that. We don't want to be relying on young players who aren't ready yet. 3 minutes later, I'm pleased to announce that plans are in place. He just wanted it to be his idea, didn't he? So we are improving our youth facilities. 650 grand it's costing us. So that's a big chunk of that new money that's now gone. We still haven't had that increased, which is worrisome. I'd quite like a transfer budget for this summer now we've got money. if that could be arranged. Anyone? Can I have a transfer budget, please? That's not exactly what I had in mind. Next season's transfer budget has gone up from £0 to less than £3,000. Thanks, Richard. He is a Richard. And it is now time for our season review. So let's quickly go through that. There's your confirmation that we won the league again, 2 years in a row, back-to-back promotions. Lovely old stuff. Signing of the season. I mean, it was only ever going to be Brackley Town. I've lost the ability to say his name again. Town. I don't think that's how I've been saying it. I think I had it down for a season and it's gone again. Signing of the season, 23 goals, 8 assists, 7.4 average. He's everything we hoped he would be and more. If we have a look at the other bits and bobs we were supposed to... See, that's a lie. We were told to battle against relegation. We were supposed to reach the National League playoffs. That was never the agreement, but goodness me, am I glad... am I glad we won the league? Because that was never on the agenda. Go back and check. We won the league. This is why I don't understand the new stadium. We averaged 1,850 fans, only 45% full. So our solution is to build a new ground roughly the same size as the current ground. I don't really get it, but let him spend his money how he sees fit, I guess. We've not had a reputation boost this summer, but we have got some more sponsorships. And sponsorships are going to be important long term. Again, when the Tycoon money eventually runs out, we need stuff like the facilities and sponsorships and things like that to be in place to help us be more self-sustaining. I guess on that front, the stadium is going to be a handy thing to have as well. We can maybe book it out for concerts and things. And we made more money on match day and commercial revenue this season. So this was the team of the year. I mean, we could do this one without... I was going to say we could do this with our eyes shut. Somehow Farquharson's in it. I mean, he absolutely isn't. We know the 11. There's only 10 of them have made the team of the year. But there is your team of the year. I mean, that front four, absolutely spectacular. Alpha Ruprecht, 33 goal contributions. Agbinone, 20 goal contributions. Ehoinvian, I can't believe I've lost it again, 31. Farmer, 48 goal contributions. What this front four will be remembered by the people of Brackley for the rest of time. They are heroes. They will be legends. There'll be a statue of the four of them outside the new ground, just all arms linked, because they are the boys who got us into the Football League. Fans Player of the Year, Alpha Ruprecht. He also won Young Player of the Year. Hoimvian got top average rate. I still don't think I'm saying his name right. It's in my head now. Farmer, top scorer with 38. Alpha Ruprecht, most assists with 21. Big Brackley, most man of the matches with 10. And Alpha Ruprecht, highest average rating at 7.5. Owen Farmer broke his own record for goals in a season with 36. That's league goals, sorry. In a season. Alpha Ruprecht broke what I think was his own record of assists in a season. Hollingshead set a new record for clean sheets in a season, and Romeo Beckham was our highest transfer fee received at 71,000. We've since beaten that twice with deals that will go through in the next week or two. So there is going to be some money coming in from there, but I think I've already taken it. I already used that to try and balance the books last season. So it's just going to be money into this kitty, not into this kitty, which is a little bit of a shame. There's your all-time best 11, which looks about right. And win bonuses and things have been paid out as well. If we actually have a look at the squad planner as the dust starts to settle, as I mentioned, we've got a load of youngsters coming in. We also have these two leaving for 350,000 for the pair. They were fringe players. We've got the 4 youngsters coming in. But if we look at the squad planner, we need another goalkeeper. Rob Harley probably not going to be good enough to be a backup at this level. Ian Thomas is the only left back. He does now have a contract for next season, though. Camerson is not currently on here because he's still not signed a contract. We need to work on that. As it is, there's no right back on the books for next season. There's also no centre back on the books for next season because Farquharson's leaving and Shipley's leaving, and the 2 low knees will be going back. So obviously we need a big focus on defenders this summer. In midfield, we've got Rodney, East, Knight, and a youngster called Akpan, who's coming in from Liverpool to be the 4th central midfielder and probably the starter in that playmaker position, replacing East. And then the front 4, as long as we don't sell anybody, pretty much leave them to it. Agbinone and Adams on the left, Alpha Ruprecht, and then new boy Tyler Bennett, who's coming in from Manchester United, on the right. And then up front, we've got Farmer, we've got new boy Colwell, who's coming in from Manchester United, Ehoinvian and Agye, who's now signed a new contract and still has 5 stars of potential. So I think we need to try and avoid signing any attackers if possible, because we've got 8. We don't need any more. Even with 2 leaving, we've got 8 there. We probably need 1 more midfielder, a backup goalkeeper, and then our whole new back 4 and reserves. So that's where the money needs to be spent. And at least there is money to spend this summer. We just need a lot of boring old defenders, or specifically boring young defenders, ideally of the 6'5" variety, who are going to score loads of goals from set pieces for me. In fact, on that note, did he play for Chesterfield this season? 12 times. When's his contract up? This summer. Keep a close eye on that boy. We might be bringing him home, boys and girls. Well, this is new. We're being offered interviews in the summer. This is the first time this has happened. I got to say, none of them are that appealing. Doncaster, I think I could immediately just not even bother going to. They've been relegated. I have absolutely no interest in dropping back down to non-league, so we decline those 2. We'll do Newport and Grimsby. I suspect neither of them are going to be able to offer a package that can compete with what we've got here at Brackley. We'll go through the motions, though, as normal. Are we happy to work with him? No, he's rubbish. Don't need to worry about any of that. What are they actually looking for? Playoffs and then getting into League One. They might actually have money then if that's their ambition. How much money are they going to throw at me? Oh, they're not even going to say. So that's handy. Grimsby finished 5th. Why have they not got a manager? He must have gone somewhere else. Yeah, so their manager has left to go to Burton Albion, who, did they get relegated? It's 21st relegation. It's weird when that's a weird move to make, because Grimsby theoretically would be looking good for promotion next season. We'll go to the interview. Again, got to be a better package than we can get at Brackley. I suspect it won't be, but we'll hear them out. We will see what they've got to say when they come in for an offer. Who knows? Now, this is a bit more interesting. Reading are now offering me an interview, who've just finished rock bottom of the Championship. Obviously, in real life, they don't have much in the way of money, but they have made it back to the Championship. So this might be potentially interesting for next season. A League One club who you would imagine should be in a fairly strong position to go straight back up again. They want to become an established Championship team. Again, a lot of it's going to come down to how much money they can offer me and what kind of budgets they've got available, though. I'm certainly not desperate to leave. I've got 2 years left on my contract here and everything is looking pretty good at the moment. Right, this one seems like an easy decline to me. Grimsby have come in and offered me a contract, but it's the same salary I'm on here at Brackley, 1.1k a week. But the wage budget is much smaller, 37.5k a week compared to my 53. Yeah, there's a transfer budget, but we've got a new stadium on the way, a Tycoon who's going to keep pumping money in. I think we can just walk away from that one. We need a much bigger financial offer than that, both in terms of my salary and budgets. Again, Newport, walk away. Reading might be the one who were able to offer me something, but those two, nowhere near what I'd be expecting. And I have to question whether Reading would actually want me as a man who's not got any kind of experience in the Football League. It's a big risk for a club like Reading. So I suspect I'm going to be staying here. There you go. Didn't get the Reading job, as I suspected. So I think that's probably the end of summer managerial merry-go-round stuff. I think we can safely assume we're going to be here for the rest of the summer. And who knows? We start the season well. We might get a big offer from a Championship club next season or something. Well, we've arrived at new signings from Premier League clubs' arrival day. That's the technical name for it. The best one is Fransaw, who worryingly can't play in any positions we actually would want to use him in. There is the temptation to switch back to the 4-2-3-1. In fact, we never used that, did we? We used a 4-3-3. We could go to a 4-2. I mean, he wants to play out on the right side of midfield. He's not going to. We're going to immediately get him training to play right midfield, where he'll have to compete with Alpha Ruprecht. It's going to be tough for him to force his way in, but I think that's probably the role that he's going to have to learn to do. I don't know that he's going to like doing that. But he's good. Tyler Bennett is an actual right winger who's immediately better than him. Okay, we need to change what we're doing with Matey because Tyler Bennett is going to be the backup to Alpha Ruprecht. So Francois, I guess we need to teach him to play as a deep lying playmaker in a DM position. And he's going to have to like it. There you go. For him to fit into our current system, that's what he's going to have to do. But Bennett looks good. Can also play up front as well as on the right-hand side. Then we've got Liam Colwell, who is a striker, can play on either wing. He comes in from Manchester United. He's not very good. They are a little bit hit and miss the further up the league system you get. And then Abu Bakr Akpan is a centre mid who we're going to just get training to play defensive midfielder. And he comes in from Liverpool. Let's just get him training to play there, and hopefully by the time the season starts, everyone who needs to play in a different position will have learnt to play in a different position. We've also had a couple of outgoing transfers go through. I'm just going to finish welcoming these boys in, and then if we jump over here, we've had Louis Marsh has joined Linfield for £240,000 and immediately his value shoot up. It's a shame we had to let him go because we wouldn't let him go now. He would have been a fantastic rotation option for us in this league, but must-did at the time. Although by the time it's gone through, we probably could have kept him. Oliver Adams had a release clause and Birmingham paid it, so he's not a major loss, I don't think. And then Farquharson is another one who we had to sell when we had no money, and that's now gone through. Have we got anything else? See, the fans aren't very happy at this slot leaving, which... I mean, I didn't have much choice. It looks like my director of football is making an offer for a centre-back, which is definitely the right plan. Although I would say a 5'11" centre-back, less so, but I'll scout him and see if he's any good. And then this, with the new signings in and out, is what the squad depth is looking like. Still definitely need another goalkeeper. We've got plenty of left-backs. We gave Shipley a new contract in the end, just because he's useful to be able to cover centre-back and left-back. Bearing in mind we had no centre-backs at the club, so he's in for another year. Be his third year at the club, a long-serving player. We also gave Drew Warburton a new deal because he missed most of last season with a broken leg. So he needs a proper fair crack of the whip. So we've got plenty of left-backs. Camerson has now signed a new deal as well, although looks like maybe he's not going to be ready to make the step up to League Two. He's going to be a rotation option for us, I think. We need to sign somebody over the top of him. And then Rodney, Shipley, McAdee, none of them are actual centre-backs. That's a midfielder, and a left-back. So we still need 4 centre-backs. Akpan can go into the mix in midfield, probably going to be the starting or at least rotating with East as the playmaker, and Rodney will likely keep his spot as the defensive midfielder. Still only 23, still one of the highest paid players at the club, unless someone offers me big money for him. He doesn't have a release clause. He'll probably just stay in the role that he was in last year. And then we already know what's going on up here. We probably need a replacement for Adams now. So there's an excuse to bring in a winger on the left at least. And then we only actually have 3 strikers now with Marsh leaving because Colwell doesn't look very good at all. So we've probably got an excuse to bring in a striker as well. There's loads of spare money to do it all with, so I think we'll be fine when we eventually get around to 1st of July, which is only a couple of weeks away now. So getting ready to do some free transfers. I've got itchy feet, itchy fingers. I've got money burning a hole in my pocket, and now our broker offering me an interview. Now that's an interesting one. Did they get relegated? They've been relegated from the Scottish Premiership, so it would mean dropping down from English non-league to the Scottish Championship. But they might offer me a ton of money to do it. I have some reservations regarding the fact you've never managed in this country. It's Scotland, Mike. It's only Scotland. I think I'll be able to cope. And you did approach me. Yeah, I'm loyal. Yep. All good stuff. Yep. I'm not desperate to go, so I'm happy just to do my standard answers. He's not good enough, so we're not going to commit to using him. You're presumably looking to bounce straight back to the Premiership. Nope. You're happy to take a few years to do it. Do we get a clue about money? No. We'll just have to wait and see if we get an offer. It looks like I might be the favourite for the job as well, which is... I'm not. In fact, we haven't even got England on here. Let's add Scotland on. And I am the favourite for the Arbroath job. They need to offer me some serious spondoolies, though, for me. Where even is Arbroath? I know it's in Scotland. Is it like far away Scotland or basically England, Scotland? That is an important distinction. Well, then. See, now I'm in an interesting predicament because they're offering me much more money, but it does involve moving to Scotland. I haven't looked up where our growth is. I'm going to do that in a second. The transfer budget and wage budget are pathetic. We're not going to be working with the same quality of player that we had previously. And they're expecting to be in a relegation battle in the Championship. So how they got in the Premiership in the first place, I do not know. The previous guy resigned just to become unemployed. He didn't even, I mean, he didn't even go on to something bigger and better. He just resigned. Hold on, where's our broth? Oh, this is seriously far from civilization. I mean, it's by the sea, which is nice. But, I mean, I thought I was far north when I went to a match at East Fife, which is up here somewhere. I would need more money than they're offering to go all the way up there, I think. I would want to be in the Premiership. How much extra money is it? See, I'm agonising over this, and this is exactly what I do in real life. I know there's going to be people in the comments who are like, oh, Kev, you wouldn't turn that down, that money in real life. I'm currently on £57,000 a year at Brackley, and I'm being offered £140,000 a year to go and live all the way up there to manage a team that are probably going to get relegated again. And I'm not going to have any money to improve the squad. It honestly doesn't appeal. It's going to be a controversial one because there's going to be people who disagree with me. But the thing with non-lethal agents, it's always been, what would I do in real life? We would look at the situation I'm in at Brackley, where I'm basically unsackable, job for life territory. I'm going to be due another pay rise soon. We've got a new stadium being built. We've got loads of money to spend in the summer. We've got a great squad that's probably going to be good enough to at least compete for another promotion. And we're going to be able to strengthen it. My alternative is go really far into the north of Scotland in a relegation battle that I can't buy my way out of. How much are they spending on players at the moment? That would be a useful thing to know. I don't want to start with this. Is such a drop down in quality of player as well. No. That was a tougher one to turn down. If Reading come in and offer me that kind of money, I mean, they didn't, but if Reading had have offered me that kind of money, I'd probably go because I'd be much more comfortable living in Reading than Arbroath. I've never been further north than Leeds. That's not true. I've been to East Fife. I'd previously never been further north than Leeds. I have now been to Scotland in the last 6 months. It was fun. I did enjoy haggis. Is it too late? Scotland are not making it easy for me. St Mirren are in now. Did they survive in the Premiership? They didn't. They were relegated as well. I'm only going to Scotland if I'm in the Premiership. I think that's the decision I've made. Decline interview. My assistant manager's still trying to bring people in. I actually think we might need a new one. Not my assistant manager, my director of football. Because the last 3 have all been rubbish. I keep turning them down. So we've not actually brought anybody in yet as we approach the 1st of July. Jack Perry off of the wrestling. See, that's more... It's basically got the same hair as well. Maybe he'll be any good. Is he being scouted? Yes. Maybe he's the guy. Well, we have made it through to the 1st of July, which means a few players left. The most notable, backup keeper Adam Richardson is gone, and Justin Devaney, who was really a victim of the change of system, was a key player for a couple of years, just never really adapted to playing as a holding midfielder or a winger. So he has moved on as well. It means going into free transfer day, we have like 12 grand a week sparesies. Can we ask for some more? We've got loads of money in the bank. Imagine if I get some more transfer budget and wage budget here. That would be sensational stuff. I'm even going to hold off on asking about the training facilities. I would like training facilities, but I want them to give me more money to improve the team. Now, to quote the chairman himself, he wants me to sign first team ready players. And looking at the squad depth, I mean, it's very clear what we need to do. We need to go out and buy an entire new defence. So That's the priority for today. Even without a defence, the media think we're looking good for mid-table. So if we bring in some actual defenders, we could put together a team that can push for promotion, which would be absolutely super duper. Let's get the trialists in. Well, that's not ideal. 4 to 5 months without Farmer. We might be going to a 4-2-3-1 because then it allows me to get my shiny new Brazilian in the team and make up for the fact we're only going to have one decent striker. Unless we can bring in another decent... Oh, that's not ideal at all. Right, we have a few new faces. First up, Aaron Donnelly is a 25-year-old Northern Irish former under-21 international. He's a natural at centre-back, can also provide cover for us at left-back. Obviously, he's coming in to play centre-back. He's the new highest-paid player at the club, but he was with Bolton in the Championship last year, previously played a full season with Colchester in League Two, like 3 years ago, and that was when he was 22. He is going to be our starting centre-back without question. Rio Adebisi becomes another former Peterborough player to turn up in our squad. He's a left-back who can also cover at right-back. He was previously at Rotherham, was playing for Chester in the National League last year, but the year before, in fact, earlier, the first half of the season for Wigan in League One, second half, Chester in the National League. That's a strange downgrade. Aidan Marsh is a striker to bring. Basically, we panicked about Farmer and brought a couple of strikers in. So Aidan Marsh, 25 years old, much cheaper than our previous Marsh was. He was at Barnsley previously, played 30 games for them a couple of years ago. Never really scored goals consistently, but never really started consistently either. So fingers crossed he'll have some goals in him. If he doesn't, Jacob Wakeling is another former Peterborough player. He's a striker who can just as comfortable playing on either wing. So I figured he provides some strength in depth in multiple positions. Been at Peterborough for a number of years, scored 14 goals playing for Gillingham in League Two. Struggled to get in the posh side in League One though, but then so did Ihoinvian, and maybe they'll already have a good relationship. I hope so. Jack Senga Ngoyi is a defensive midfield player, primarily a deep line playmaker, but we might have to teach him to tackle as well. He was formerly of Reading, and then Emeka Peters is a left winger, because you can never have too many left wingers. He comes in from Brentford, which of course means we still need loads of defenders. If we get rid of all of the ones that we didn't manage to get, you can see we did try and sign a few permanently. Isaac Smith, I'm particularly disappointed with. He was obviously here with us last year, came in on trial. We offered him a contract on more money than he asked for, and he's still gone to McDonald's, albeit in the Championship. So I guess he'd consider that an excuse. But that's all the ones that we missed out on that we were trying to bring in. But if we have a look at what we've got in the squad, we've only really got Donnelly as a centre-back. So we need at least two more. We're already over our wage budget, but we do have the bonus day where we can get some more money. We'll be getting some more money for that, hopefully. And we're now going to have a look at loans. And we'll still try to bring in more free transfers. Realistically, we probably still need another goalkeeper, still need another couple of centre-backs, but the rest of the squad is fine now. We've got some decent strength in depth at centre forward, plus out wide where the likes of Wakeling can move out onto the wings as well as needed. If anything, there's probably players there we could get rid of. Aguier maybe could go out on loan, although he is the second best target man that we've got. I'll have a ponder. I mean, with Farmer injured for 5 months, I guess it's something we don't need to worry about just yet. Well, that's the rest of the money gone. 750,000 on new training facilities. So by Christmas, we'll be desperately in debt again, and I guess we only get an investment once a year. So that's not ideal, but we do need improved training facilities. We are still below average for both training and youth, which doesn't help with trying to develop young players the way we're trying to. Well, we have a right back. Josh Deed is a 22-year-old Scottish former under-17 international who was previously of Celtic. So he can come in and be my starting right back. I still don't really have any centre-backs, though. Everyone I keep trying to sign just goes somewhere else, which is problematic. He was the latest one to turn me down. we've got a week until the season starts, and at the moment it's going to be Donnelly and probably Lewis Shipley as our starting centre-backs with no backup. We're struggling to find anyone to bring in on loan because we're over our wage budget. We shall keep looking, but this might be a problem that we don't solve immediately. We are trying to loan some players out to generate some money for bringing players in. So McCaddy has gone out on loan to Kidderminster. They're paying his full salary. And there's a couple of others hopefully leaving as well. Joe Knight is one of them. I'm thinking maybe East, if we can get someone to take East, because we've got 2 players who can probably cover his position. Now, I know he was a starter last year, but I think we can probably get by without him because we've got Senga, Ngoyi and Akpan. But that's proving to be difficult to get any because his salary's so high. He would solve a big problem if we could get rid of him, but nobody seems to want him. There doesn't seem to be any other obvious position where we could get rid of somebody. We still don't have a backup goalkeeper either. This squad isn't perfect yet, is it? Let's have a look to see what the media think. They've got us up to 7th, so we're improving. We're just still don't really have a defence. Well, it is the first day of the new season and we've snuck a couple more defenders in right under that deadline. Dan Scarr, I mean, he's not the ideal profile of signing. He's 33 years old, and when I approached him, he wanted to come in just as a coach. I had to convince him to come in as a player, but he's 6'2". He's got 3.5 stars of current ability, and he played 30 games for Doncaster in this league last year after they spent £20,000 to bring him in from Wrexham, where he'd been playing in League One. Plymouth. He's got plenty of experience playing at this level or higher, so I think he'll do a good job for us for a year. And James DeBeo has arrived this morning. He's another 6'2" centre-back, Nigerian under-20 international, 3 stars of current ability. He was previously at Leeds, spent last season on loan at Oldham in the National League, so never played a game in the Football League. But between the 2 of them, we've probably got, well, we've got 3 centre-backs, Donnelly, Scarr, DeBeo. Shipley's just picked up an injury, so he's going to be out for 4 to 7 weeks. He was kind of my backup. I am trying to bring a 6'5" guy in on loan from Wraith Rovers. He's not very good, but he's 6'5". He'd be fine as our 4th choice. He's free and he's 6'5". That pretty much as a 4th choice centre-back meets all of the criteria. Our wage budget, just like last year, absolutely shot, even though the board have been convinced to give us extra retained transfer revenue. But I think we have a half decent team now we've brought in a couple of defenders. The media think we've got worse since I last checked. They're looking at us to finish just outside the playoffs, which, to be honest, I think we'd probably be happy with. We're looking to become an established League 2 team this year, so if we end up finishing 9th, I think we'll all be pretty happy. I think that will be okay. But Mansfield, who we play in the first match of the season, our first ever game in the Football League, are expected to finish below us. So fingers crossed we can start things off with a win. Wouldn't that be nice? If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.